Now, if you're an individualistic therapist and you are seeing an individualistic client primarily, then it's accurate if they're talking around the problem. That makes sense because individualism values speaking direct. If you're not speaking direct in that context, then you're avoiding. But if you come from a context and a culture that values giving context, that values, I'm not just going to tell you the problem, I'm going to tell you about the different ways that's come to me. I'm going to tell you about where it started. I'm going to tell you how it's affected my son more than me first. I'm going to tell you in this circular way. And if I'm an individualistic therapist and I assume the person in front of me is individualistic, it's going to look like avoiding, right? But if we understand that that person may come from a collectivistic perspective, then it's not avoiding, right? It's culturally congruent in the way that we use metaphor. So the importance of metaphor is crucial. Everybody uses metaphor in talking. We love metaphors. But what I'm saying is that if you have a client that comes from a collectivistic background, metaphors are that more important. What we tend to do with metaphors is we use them and then we interpret them to say like, oh, what you mean is this. Yeah, that makes sense. That's fine, right? That's good. There's nothing wrong with that. It particularly makes sense in individualism. But if someone uses a metaphor from a collectivistic culture, what I'm proposing is that we stay with that metaphor instead of quickly interpreting what it means. Continue with that metaphorical language as you add, as you give questions. Stay within that story a little bit more because it's not about interpreting what's really there. What's really there is already in the story. Right?